David Jewell was a police officer, and he was assassinated by a monster. Edgewater police officer David Jewell was remembered as someone who dedicated years of his life to public service and as someone who anyone could rely on. Officer Jewell was off duty when he was shot and killed on September 15th of 2025 while waiting to pay for a hot dog inside a Circle K gas station in Ormond by the Sea in Florida, in what officials say is a targeted assassination. Volusia County Sheriff Mike said the alleged suspect fired 24 shots at David in less than 2 minutes in a seemingly unprovoked ambush. Officer David joined the Edgewater Police Department in June of 2023. Photos of his swearing-in ceremony were posted on the Edgewater Police Department's Facebook page at the time. He was a nice guy that you could rely on for anything. You'd never hear a bad thing about him. Before joining the department, David worked for the Volusia Sheriff's Office in the Communications Unit in 2020, and he had received the Telecommunicator of the Quarter distinction. He was honored for his calm professionalism during a crash involving 2 critically injured patients on May 19th of 2020. T.C. Jewell was praised for his work on a fire dispatch channel for his outstanding job on this call. He continues to represent the Communications Center in a positive and professional manner. He also worked for the Lake Helen Police Department, which is part of Volusia County. Law enforcement agencies across Florida issue statements on social media sending their condolences to Officer David Jewell's family, colleagues, and friend. The Edgewater Police Department shared 2 links to support the family of Officer Jewell. One for a meal train and the other for a GoFundMe link. The Uvalde Foundation for Kids canceled its previously announced fundraising efforts after the city was starting an official GoFundMe on behalf of Officer Jewell's family. Eduardo Machado, who worked at the Circle K, is accused of shooting and killing the officer. He fired 24 shots at the off-duty officer in less than 2 minutes, all of which was captured on the store's surveillance camera. Volusia County Sheriff Mike described it as a targeted assassination and evil. Eduardo admitted to detectives that he shot Officer Jewell multiple times and that he did it because he was having a bad day. Eduardo alleged that he and Jewell had an argument, but was unable to provide any details on where, when, or what the argument was about. Officials also released an additional timeline of the events leading up to the shooting. September 5th, Eduardo purchases a Glock Model 2010 mm handgun from Buck's Gun Rack. He then has to wait the mandatory 3-day waiting period. September 15th, around 2 p.m., Eduardo visits his Buck's Gun Rack to pick up the gun he bought. Around 4:08, Eduardo is working at Circle K and sees Officer David Jewell walk into the store. He goes out to his car, grabs a jacket, returns to the store, and almost immediately begins shooting. Around 8 p.m., the Volusia County Sheriff and acting Edgewater Police Chief Charles held a news conference. Around 11:30 p.m., law enforcement escort the body of Officer David Jewell to the medical examiner's office. September 16th, Eduardo's mugshot is released. He's booked under suspicion of first-degree murder. He makes his first appearance in front of a judge and is denied bond. Volusia County Sheriff provides any update on the investigation. Eduardo allegedly fired 24 shots in less than 2 minutes. Family members told deputies that he had been recently diagnosed with a mental health disorder and reported hearing voices. He is a legal U.S. resident and he has lived here for 10 years on a green card. Officer David Jewell's patrol vehicle is parked outside the Edgewood Police Department as a memorial spot for people to gather. Just because he was having a bad day and just because he may have had mental health does not mean you kill somebody. And he also knows that killing somebody is wrong. Hopefully he is fast-tracked to the death chair where he belongs. And now David's family no longer has him. His wife no longer has her husband. His kids no longer have their father. And David's parents no longer have their son because of an evil monster who decided to end his life.
It's probably something in 38 years of law enforcement that I can tell you, it's unbelievable.
An off-duty Edgewater police officer shot and killed in a gas station ambush An execution-style attack, all caught on camera.
Walks up behind David and fires multiple shots into David's head.
A store clerk now under arrest in what's being called an assassination and an act of pure evil. And investigators say the suspect and victim knew each other.
I'm live at the scene in Ormond by the Sea, where investigators are now looking into what motivated the shooting.
This is WFTV Tonight.
That Edgewater police officer, identified as David Jewell, was just buying a hot dog this afternoon and never even had a chance to react, being shot right in the back of the head repeatedly. Good evening, I'm Greg Warmith.
I'm Martha Sagowski. We just heard from the Volusia County Sheriff, and he says that clerk fired as many as 15 shots at point-blank range. Deputies showed up to the Circle K in Ormond by the Sea just after 4. This is right off of A1A at the corner of Wisteria Drive.
Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb looking into the background of the officer who's deceased, who was a husband and father. But we began with Channel 9's Demi Johnson, who has been on scene since we first broke the story on Eyewitness News at 5:30. And Demi, you asked the sheriff if he thought this may have been a setup.
Yeah, Greg, he called it an assassination. All of this happening at the Circle K right here, where you can still see crime tape up right now. But I want to show you what's happening outside of this crime scene right now on State Road A1A. You can see dozens of officers and sheriff's deputies lining the roadway and all of the side streets, getting ready to follow the medical examiner out of here, out of this crime scene. The sheriff telling me David Jewell walked into this gas station, was shot by the clerk, again, who knew him. Sheriff Chitwood says the officer was shot more than 10 times in the head. Edgewater police officer David Jewell was gunned down in an Ormond by the Sea gas station, just down the street from his home. The Volusia Sheriff's Office says the suspect is the store clerk, Eduardo Machado. Sheriff Mike Chitwood is calling the crime scene and surveillance video some of the worst he's ever seen.
Video shows him grab a jacket and then walk back into the store. He walks up behind David and fires multiple shots into David's head. When David goes to the ground, the gun jams. He stands over top of him, clears the gun, and then probably fires another 7 or 8 shots. There's 10 or 12, 15 shots into David's head.
Chitwood says Machado then changed his shirt and left the store with another employee. Deputies found them just down the road. But at this point, it's not clear to investigators why Machado shot Jewell.
It's my understanding that David and Eduardo know one another. Eduardo knows that David is a police officer. Why this occurred is what we're trying to figure out. But this was clearly the video shows this was an out-and-out assassination.
You think he was set up? You said assassination.
That's, when you look at that wasn't me and you got in a fight and, oh, you come in the store, I'm going to shoot you.
Again, you're looking live right now at dozens of police officers from different agencies and sheriff's deputies lining State Road A1A and side streets here in Ormond by the Sea, waiting to pay their respects to that fallen off-duty officer who was killed here today in Ormond by the Sea. We'll continue to stay on top of this story and bring you updates as we learn more. For now, live in Ormond by the Sea, Demi Johnson, Channel.
Our live team coverage continuing right now with Channel 9's Ashlyn Webb, who's at Edgewater City Hall. And Ashlyn, you just spoke to the mayor in the last couple of hours. What did he tell you?
Yeah, Mayor Diesel Depew spoke about how down-to-earth David was and how dedicated he has been to this community. He also spoke about how small this department is, about 30 officers. So this tragedy can be felt throughout the agency and the community. These officers are really hurting tonight.
He was an officer that was very caring to each and every resident, cared about his job, cared about being a public servant, exactly what it means to be a police officer.
These pictures on Edgewater Police Department's Facebook show Chief Joseph Mahoney swearing in David Jewell in June of 2023. The police department at the time congratulating him and welcoming him to the EPD team.
David was a guy that you could rely on for anything. You'd never hear a bad thing about him.
The acting chief, Charles Geiger, says David would often jump in to help fill an open shift or do overtime if it meant helping his community.
And he's going to be a tremendous loss, not only for the police department, but also life in general.
Before serving on the force at Edgewater Police, he worked at Volusia County Communications Center. In this picture next to Sheriff Mike Chitwood, Jewell was honored as telecommunicator of the quarter for his calm professionalism during a crash involving 2 critically injured young patients in 2020. Again, in February 2019, Jewell was recognized along with his Volusia County team for his calm demeanor and helping callers through life-threatening situations. Messages of shock and condolences have poured across social media. Coastal Florida Police Benevolent Association posting on Facebook, Jewell was murdered in cold blood. This tragic, intentional, disgusting act is proof once again that the dangers our members face every day are too real and too frightening to ponder.
Now he's not coming home because of some evil coward at a gas station.
And the mayor says the city plans to celebrate David's legacy. He says the city of Edgewater will never forget his service to this community.